Hey there everybody, Topher Welsh here for Inside the Hive at videohive.net and VisualFXTuts.com, the place where you can find tons and tons of tutorial roundups for any application. I will be your host, and we're going to be checking out some quick tip shortcuts, some stuff you may know, some stuff you might not know. Either way, you're going to either be refreshed or learn something new. So let's jump in right here. We got a couple of elements from Harry Frank's Video Rock library. So circle and a sweet little banner here. We're going to be messing around with these, demonstrating a couple of quick things that you might not know. So let's jump in right now. Let's take this circle element. Let's just drag it to the Make New Comp button. What we're going to see is we have this whole thing right here. A lot of people ask, how do you time reverse layer? Well, really easy. Time reverse layer. Pretty simple. You're going to get this little red and white striped bar here. You can also get this by going layer, time reverse layer. Or if you don't have that feature in like 6.5 or 7, you do time, enable timer mapping, swap these two keyframes on the timer mapping, and you have your layer time reverse. There we go. So let's just look at this again. Make new comp. Oops. Make new comp on the circle here. All right. Next one is time stretch. The way this works is you can stretch it by 200%, which is going to make it twice as long, or 2000%, whatever. You can stretch it by, if you want to make it twice as fast, do time stretch 50%, make it twice as fast, since it was a 7-second comp, now it's 3.5 seconds. Or, any other percentage that you want. It's a little bit of math, but I think you guys can figure it out. Next one is freeze framing. I don't think freeze framing is available in CS3 and below, so what you can do, but in CS4 you can use time freeze frame, and what that does is it sets a hold keyframe right here on the time remap parameter. Well, if you don't have that, what you can do is you time remapping. You can look for the frame that you want to freeze at. So say you really like that frame right there, set a keyframe, delete these two keyframes over here, then drag this for the length of your layer. Now you have a freeze frame. Lastly, to save a frame as, what you can do, you can go composition, save frame as, file, and what it's going to do is it's going to take the time code part of this, send it in here as a PSD by default, or what you can go in here is you can pick JPEG sequence, PIC sequence, PNG sequence, TIFF, Targa, whatever you want, and it'll render that frame only in the timeline. So that's how you get a freeze frame. Next, what we're going to look at is the layer transform properties. Now, these are really handy, especially if you have a lot of layers. Say you're doing a slideshow, but you want all the layers to fit by the height in your composition. So say we have an NTSC DV, but we're using all HD footage, but all HD pictures, or say they're all like 2000 pixels by 4000 pixels. Well, what you can do, we can grab let's grab both of these, the banner and the circle, bring them in here. You can see they're both huge, and I would have to mess with these both manually to get them correct and just kind of really look closely to do this kind of thing. And this one's wider and stuff. Well, instead of doing that, what we can do is we can grab both of these, do layer, transform, fit to comp height. Now they're both fitting to the exact comp height, and they are like pixel perfect right on the edge. Well, we can also do transform, fit to comp width, which fits them both to the comp width as well. And if you don't care about the dimensions or whatever, say it's just like a solid that's oversized, you can do a layer transform, fit to comp, so they both fit the exact dimensions of your comp. Also, a couple other things in here. Say we just want to delete this circle in here. Let's do our layer fit to comp width. Say we want this to be flipped on its horizontal. Flip it on the horizontal. Say we want to flip it on the vertical. Same thing. Then we can also center it in view. You can also access these by going to transform, and they're all right here. Lastly, a little trick that I use, especially for things like this, when you can see if you play the animation, the layer is this big, but there's all this dead space down here. So say you really want to use this whole element, but sometimes maybe you have an element that's rendered and you only have a little bit of action over here, and this is all dead alpha space. Well, what you can do is we're going to pre-comp just this layer right here. So it's Control-Shift-C to pre-comp, move all attributes to composition. And we're going to just kind of trim this to right here, do an N, and trim comp to work area. Another really quick tip, if you want to set your work area, you can hit B. To end your work area, hit N, and then right click, trim comp to work area. Pretty simple. But let's just go into this pre-comp right here. Now you see we have our little element here, and it has all this, dead space. Well, we can access this right here. It's the region of interest. Grab our region of interest, and if the action only happens in this region of interest right here, it doesn't go past that bounding box right there, and we could check it just to make sure, which I don't think it does. What we can do is we can do composition, crop comp to region of interest. So now instead of it being a huge composition, it's only 598 by 202. And you still have the whole layer here available to be moved around and stuff. But when you go back into your comp over here, you have a nice sized layer without all that dead space around. And then your anchor point is perfectly in the middle, and it's going to be really easy to position. And if you have 100 elements in a comp, it's going to get really confusing if you have tons of elements with dead space. And for me, it makes things a lot simpler to organize, especially with tons of elements. So that is it for me for today. My name is Topher Welsh. I hope to give you guys some more tutorials here pretty soon, but until then, I will see you guys in the next quick tip, and stay tuned to Inside the Hive at videohive.net and VisualFXTuts.com. I'll see you guys later.